What's up, lads? Today we're here for another sort of music tutorial. I didn't think I was going to be doing another one so soon, but since my last video did, fairly well for my channel, I decided, hey, I'd make another one. And I got a whole lot more subscribers here, so I decided to make, this little one to introduce them all to my channel. So, hey, how are you doing, you new 6 people? So, in this video, I figured I was going to be doing a bit more of a, orchestral appropriate piece instead of the last one where it was just something really weird. I decided I'd do something a bit better, so I'm going to be making a kind of like soundtrack style one that I pretty much called like a combat theme, I suppose. I think it'd be something pretty interesting. We're just going to be doing that. I'm going to be making it in the style of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 soundtrack because I kind of like that one. I think it would be something pretty interesting to make. So yeah, I suppose that's all the background I need to give on this project before we get right into it, but right now it is currently real spooky hours, so I can't be too loud right now. I might have to be whispering sometimes, so yeah, because I need to be quiet or else the demons will come and get me, and by demons I mean my mother, but there's really not that much of a difference. But anyway, yeah, I suppose we can just get started. Alright, so before this video begins, I just want to say this. This video is a good representation as to kind of what I wanted this channel to be. I'd upload my work, get some feedback from the general community, and hopefully use that, to help me in my composing. The song I'm making this video is like, it's nothing amazing. I'm not too proud of it. Not that I didn't try my best at it, but because this is pretty much the extent of my skill. So I'd really appreciate any comments on this video, on advice to make my work better, even if you're not some musical expert. Any sort of response is good. You can literally put in the comments, "This sounds bad," and I'd probably respond with, "Yeah, lol." But yeah, any kind of feedback would be appreciated, whether it will enhance my musical skill or just give me the motivation to get better. Yeah, it'd be lovely. So yeah, that's that. Back to the video. So this project is going to be kind of not so much like an insanely intimidating kind of music piece, but instead it's going to be kind of like a march theme. That's kind of the idea that I'm going to go for. So, BPM around 100 is pretty good. That's typical walking pace, I suppose. And then for a key, I suppose we can just go in here and start drafting some stuff out. For a key, we're going to use a minor key specifically. Let's just choose a random one, A sharp and whatnot. Alright, and the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to have like, I'm actually going to draw out the percussion first because those are going to be a pretty vital part to it. So for percussion, we're going to be using like a snare or something like that. And you're just going to draw it out. I'm going to use D sharp, I suppose, right? Yeah, I suppose we can just use that. It doesn't matter, it's going to be in percussion anyway, so just have sort of this structure, and then just make it a bit more special. Yeah, I'm going to make this tutorial a bit more simpler than my previous one, so I'm not going to go too into detail as to what I'm doing in terms of drawing all this stuff out, because I don't want another 18-minute long video. So yeah, I'll just draw something out and I'll show you what I mean, so yeah. Alright, and here we go. This is the little thing that I came up with, and also what we're going to do is, since we're making orchestral music, we're going to open up the, actually let's just keep it on this one. To give it a bit more space, we're just going to put on reverb and just keep it, you don't have to make it too crazy or too simple, just put a little reverb and it's going to make it sound really nice. Yeah, so here's the little snare thing. See, there's one note there, there, and there, all following a normal structure, but it's a bit more spicy. So yeah, we're gonna do that. These first 2 measures are just gonna be like the little intro for the percussion. The next 2 are gonna be the intro to the theme, and these next 2 are gonna be the conclusion of the theme. And how could I forget? I actually drew something out for this. I used my beautiful Microsoft Paint skills to sort of draw out this plan for what we're going to be sort of doing for this. I made a little plan for this. So here we're going to have the percussion intro, which kind of starts out here, it's solo here, but then it still holds up throughout this entire part. Here we have the theme, which is going to be played in brass, and then here is definitely not the same theme. Just sort of continuing with the vibe, just to sort of make it feel like it's fitting, but still something different. Here we're going to have something similar. We're going to change the keys, so there's going to be a bit of a weird sort of breakdown part right there. That's going to be a bit interesting. And then in here is going to be a bit of a conclusion. So yeah, that's that. And I think for the another element, we're going to add a bass drum, and it's just going to be doing this, And yeah, just sort of repeat that. He's just going to be doing this over and over again for a bass drum, just give it a bit more, you know, just make it extra thick. So yeah, this is pretty much it for the percussion. It sounds something like this. I think it's pretty good. I did want to do a string element. What we're going to be doing is going to get some of these low strings, and they're going to be kind of acting as some elements of percussion, just to sort of make it sound a bit more musical. So yeah, that we're just going to do that. Oh yeah, but one thing before we move on to that is we're going to add a little bit of some percussive elements, something like that. So here I added like a little cymbal to do something like this. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh dear, my CPU is dying right now, so we're gonna have to record this through. But and then we're also gonna add ourselves a xylophone, because even though a xylophone may sound like a bit of a childish instrument, I think it's still like fits the vibe. Yeah, it sounds pretty lit, and we're just gonna have this little one on the end just to finish it off. And yeah, with that, we're pretty much done with the percussion. I'm gonna record this through so my computer doesn't die. So yeah. Alright, and here's our strings. As you can see, they're pretty much doing the exact same thing. I just have them layered on octaves to give them a bit more of a richer sound. Then yeah, that's pretty much that. And then for the basses, it's just pretty much the same exact thing, and it makes it sound pretty lit. Yeah, that's pretty epic. Alright, so when it comes down to brass, I'm never really the best person for it. So we have the French horns doing the first melody right here. Trumpets take over, French horns sort of return, but with a bit more power and doing something a bit more different, and then trumpets come back and sort of finish everything. But the one problem I have with brass, I don't know if it's because my plugins are terrible, but brass is like the worst thing I'm at. So here's what I have right now. Yeah, it's a bit weird, but probably gonna do like a bit more editing to try and figure out what I'm doing here. At the current moment, I have like using like different instruments to sort of like putting them together. Like I have some marcato there and marcato here. Both of them are from different libraries right here, and I just sort of combine them to make them sound good. I don't know. If you have even the slightest bit of knowledge, then yeah, that would be very much appreciated if I could at least figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Alright, there we go. Let's see if this sounds any... Here we go. It turned out alright. It still could use a bit more work, but, you know, it's still not that amazing. Alright, now we're gonna be doing some piccolo. Yeah, you never expected that. So here we have this little, I had this little thing where it like goes down and then goes right up, but right before we get into like the redoing of the melody, so it has this. Just a little background element that I think sounds quite nice. And then they're going to be going into doing the actual melody right here, which is pretty much the same exact thing. Yeah, there we go. And then they pick up a bit more right here, going an octave higher. And then next here we're going to add a violin, which is pretty much doing a pretty similar thing to the piccolos, but they're a bit more defined for the first one, and then the piccolos sort of take over right there, while the strings are a bit more on the bottom side right here. That's the flute. That flute's actually, yeah, the violins pretty much do the same exact thing, so they should it'll sound like this. Pretty nice, right? Yeah, pretty nice. Alright, and then following that, we were going to have the brass doing their, another sort of thing. They have this little interesting, like, da-da-da-dun, da-da-da-dun right there. It's mostly just a background element to sort of fill up the space, but I think it also leads well into the remainder of the brass, and then it just sort of concludes the melody right there by slowly just sort of rising up, and yeah, this is how the melody kind of concludes. Alright, well that was weird. I just decided to draw out the remainder of what we're going to be doing because I feel like this video hasn't been entertaining enough, so I might as well try and make it quick. So, as you can see, we did a little bit of a key signature change. We went from A sharp minor to C sharp minor, and you can see that by this thing that I put there. I started out writing in key here, but then after that I just sort of did as I did. Yeah, this is what it sounds like. It doesn't go too crazy in terms of like the journey that the song has, but it's 40 seconds, that's good enough. I'm not planning on making anything too crazy, this is just a simple tutorial song, so I listened to a couple of tracks from the Battlefront 2 soundtrack and sort of modeled some similar concepts from it. You know, I definitely didn't rewrite it and change the notes and make some small edits to sort of make it unique. No, I definitely didn't do that. So yeah, that's... yeah, I did do that. Okay, I admit it, I did do that. Alright, so my apologies if this video isn't turning out to be as amazing as my previous one. I know my previous one was full of the memes, and it was actually somewhat of a good idea. This one's just more of a filler one, just because, you know, I kind of wanted to make another video like this. Yeah, if this isn't amazing, hopefully at least there's some sort of educational value, and hopefully I can distort the audio a little bit at some times just to sort of make the slightest bit of comedic effect. So hopefully we can do that. But anyway, here we are. I just sort of drew out what the strings are going to be doing. I'm really just sort of rushing through the video. I haven't recorded in like 40 minutes. Alright, it's been like, yeah. Alright, so for the string bits, what I did, for the violins, I have this little piece right here, which connects this statement and this statement, you know, because music is all about that conversation element. So anyway, I just have that there, so sort of connecting the two, changing the instrumentation a bit. I think it sounds quite nice. Violas are just pretty much doing the same thing, but a little bit lower. And yeah, that's that. Anyway, this is the really interesting bit right here. This weird string fill. It sounds a bit weird, but like I just didn't know how to make it any better. So you have this bit that goes right there, and then the strings just do this for 2 measures before it continues on with what it normally does. It sounds a bit weird, but I think it works, at least somewhat. And this probably isn't the best way to make runs. This is just sort of the best method that I sort of thought of, just sort of kind of sticking to the keys, sometimes not, and just sort of building my way up. If you know a better way, if you're some, you know, Beethoven descendants, you can help me out with that. But they're doing some extra stuff around here that I don't really feel like explaining. This video isn't going to be too crazy. You can look at that if you want. There you go, that's what I did for that. And then for the basses, they're sort of doing a bit more simplistic stuff that just sort of adds some interesting elements to it. But the percussion in this second bit is going to be a bit less structured than the first bit, so it had to be put in later. I talk for way too much. Alright, we added in some winds detail right here with just the piccolo was really the only thing that I used. I thought the flute sounded way too, like, you know, ambient and peaceful. The piccolo is a bit more extreme. The name doesn't really sound like it, but it's true, it does. Should we do a little recap of what it sounds like? Yeah, you probably don't know what it sounds like, so yeah, here's the last 20 seconds of it. Alright, and I added in some percussion. It's definitely a big downgrade from here, but that's kind of the idea. This bit is a bit more structured because it has like the melody there. And since this one doesn't, it would just sound really imbalanced to sort of continue with that. And because this one has a much wider orchestration, this last half, it's good to sort of limit the percussion a good bit. So I added in a timpani right here just to give it a bit more life in the percussion section, and I also added this thing on the end that I think sounds quite nice. It's pretty epic. But with that, we're pretty much done, I suppose. I know this video probably seemed really quick, but for me, I spent quite a while making this song. I mean, look at that. That takes quite a lot of time to build all of that, especially for a person with like a year of experience in this. So yeah, with that, I guess we're pretty much done. If you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for dealing with me for, you know, this video, which I don't think is going to turn out as good as the other one. That previous video I actually had some sort of idea that it was going for. Meanwhile, this one is just sort of something I made just because, mostly just for practice. I really just hope to sort of do these a good bit, and maybe we can get somewhere good in the future. Alright, there's a cut in the recording. where am I? Oh right, I was about to end the video. So yeah, if you liked the video and you want to help support my channel, you can leave a like on this video. Just smash the like button. That would be quite nice. But if you want to help even more, you can subscribe to the channel. Yeah, the button's right there. You can do that. And if you subscribe to the channel, I'll make you this deal. All right, I'll give you a year's worth supply of Lay's potato chips. All right, that's a pretty good deal. I'm sorry we couldn't get like barbecue or something that actually is kind of good, but you know, we kind of lost all of our budget with the Diet Mountain Dew in the last episode, so yeah, we're just gonna have to deal with what we got here. So I guess that's it for this video. I'll just let this play back. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.